If your bug out bag isn't ready for fall and winter, you are carrying dead weight. Let me show you the cold weather upgrades that could be the difference between survival and disaster. Most people pack their bug out bag once and forget about it. But here's the truth. A bag that might save you in the summer could actually kill you in the fall or winter. When the temperature drops, everything changes. From what you wear, to how you shelter, to what you eat. Today, I'm breaking down exactly how to update your bug out bag for fall and winter weather so you don't get caught unprepared when it matters most. Welcome to the channel. I'm David, just a regular husband and dad who's been prepping for over 25 years while raising a family, holding down a career, and testing a lot of gear. My goal here is simple: to save you time, money, and frustration, and to help you protect your family with real-world strategies that fit normal lives and normal budgets so you can be prepared for anything. Now, today felt like the first day of fall here in Virginia. It was rainy, it was relatively cold. I think the high was only around 62 or 63, and I didn't really realize how cool it was until I went to go run some errands late this afternoon, and I'm out in my shorts and my athletic t-shirt, and frankly, I was cold. I wish I had my jeans. I wish I had my hoodie or a jacket on, even boots, and well, I wasn't prepared. That was the impetus for this particular video. So the first item we're going to talk about is clothing and layering. Because when the seasons change, your bug out bag has to change with them. Lightweight summer clothes, like I was wearing today, won't keep you alive when it's 20 degrees and windy. I survived just fine in 60-degree weather though. Fall and winter gear should be all about layering. A base layer focused on moisture wicking, a mid layer for insulation, and an outer layer for wind and water protection. Think merino wool socks, thermal underwear, and a packable rain jacket. Other things you might want to consider updating in your bug out bag is going with a heavier duty work glove or maybe some insulated gloves, beanies, hats, scarves, those kinds of things to protect your head and face. Also, extra socks. I definitely recommend you have those in the summer as well. But in the winter, you need to upgrade your socks from summer-friendly socks to cold weather socks and have extra of them. Next, you have to think shelter and warmth. If you ever are broken down on the side of the road, if you have to get home safely, if you have to go on your feet, having some kind of a four-season sleeping bag, some kind of a bivy sack, maybe Mylar blankets. They're cheap and light and easy to put in other places. They don't keep you really warm, especially if there's a lot of wind, but they're better than nothing, and they're extremely packable. Another great option to have in your car is to buy those compact foam or inflatable sleeping pads. The rolled foam or the Z Fold ones are great to put underneath you, and they even sell like the Mylar bivvies. But the key to this is finding a way to stay warm if you're ever stuck outside, whether it be bugging out, use from in your get home bag or in your vehicle preps. Number 3 is fire and heat. Fire goes from nice to have in summer to an absolutely life-saving critical thing in fall and winter. You need to have waterproof matches, stormproof lighters, ferro rods if you know how to use them, tender cotton balls soaked in Vaseline, fat wood sticks, whatever kind of tinder you're most comfortable using, make sure you have it in the winter. Also, maybe a candle lantern. Y'all know I'm not a huge fan of open flame. That can go, a single like tea candle can go a long way. Like if you're stuck in your car in a blizzard, it can go a long way to actually keeping that car warm. Obviously, you have to watch out for monoxide poisoning, but other than that, it actually can go a long way to actually help keeping you warm. The next thing you want to really think about is adjusting the food in your bug out bag. In the summer, it's really not that critical. I mean, unless you plan on, wanting to have a couple days worth of food, but you can go for, a day or two, particularly in summer, and not have to worry about it very much. But in winter, food becomes extremely important because you're burning a lot more calories just to stay warm. Now, some of the adjustments that you might want to make is to focus on higher calorie food, nut bars, granola bars, energy bars, jerky, something, if you can get some hot, either coffee or tea, some electrolyte mixes, or even hot cocoa, just because it tastes good and it helps build your morale, especially on a cold, cold night. And lastly, I guess really the focus on the food is go to items that have more fat, more calories, and more of it. Now, when it comes to water, Really the biggest thing about winter is making sure the water is drinkable. If it gets too cold, depending on where you live, actually just keeping the water from freezing becomes a real critical thing. Now to do that, obviously if you're like camped in somewhere, just keep that water bottle in your sleeping bag with you, and it probably won't freeze unless you do. But if you freeze and the water bottle freezes, you don't really need to worry about the water bottle, if you know what I mean. You obviously want to have water in your packs, your bug out bags, and in a pinch you can always melt snow and ice if you're familiar with how the process of doing that really well. But also, you know, you do want to have water tablets and because even frozen water can still not be potable. So you want to be able to treat that water or filter that water tablets, filters, purifiers, something like that. Next is you want to have extra lighting and power. Extra batteries are good. Battery life, when it's really, really cold, they don't last near as long as in the summer. So in really cold temperatures, you're going to go through your batteries much, much faster. Same thing with your headlamps, flashlights, rechargeables, your portable battery chargers. You're going to eat through those so much faster. So overestimate your power needs in the winter because that cold really saps the effectiveness of that energy transfer. The seventh thing is mobility and safety. You need to have good boots. You need to have good boots with you in your pack, in your car. They need to be waterproof, potentially insulated, depending on how cold your climate really gets. Consider having traction devices that you can actually just strap on the bottom of your shoes, and also consider a poncho or umbrella or both for unexpected cold rains. And lastly, something else that you need to keep in mind is we all have special family or group considerations. And bugging out in winter isn't just harder on you, it's harder on the kids, pets, elderly family members, those with medical conditions. That means blankets, hot packs, morale boosters like candy, comfort foods matter even more. You also will need to consider, again, any kind of life-saving devices, medical devices, medications, again, things that might freeze insulin, for example. You got to make sure that those things are all taken care of and accounted for with the cold temperatures. At the end of the day, your bug out bag isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. As the seasons change, so do your needs. Adding layers for warmth, protecting your water, making sure your gear works in the cold could be the difference between comfort and crisis if you ever have to leave home in the fall or winter. Preparation is about thinking ahead, not waiting until it's too late. Every small step you take now gives your family a better chance when the unexpected happens. With the change in season, it's the perfect time for you to take these things into consideration, adapt your plans, adapt your gear, so you'll be ready. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Drop a like in the comment if you have some cold weather upgrades you're adding to your bag this season. And don't forget to subscribe, as you don't want to miss future tips and future videos. As always, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.